Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast, The Purple People. So we are here, we are ready for series 2, and I have got a list of wonderful people that are all ready to come chat, share about their lives, share about healing techniques, things that make them feel better, and generally just shining a light on positivity and wonderful things in the world. And today I'm really excited because I have got one of my longtime friends, Judith, coming to speak to us. Now, Judith is a super talented lady. She has got many strings to her bow. Not only is she a massage therapist, physical therapist, she is also a life coach. She has her own business. She's a mom. She has her own unique program called Becoming You, which takes you through somatic exercises, helping you get rid of trauma, doubting beliefs, limiting beliefs, helping peel back the layers to figure out where physical pain might be coming from. She's absolutely amazing, which is why I am more than thrilled to welcome her to the podcast today. So I am going to stop talking. So I want you to turn off the TV, make yourself a cup of tea, put the headphones on and tune in to the lovely Judith Mcfadden. Hi Judith, how are you, my darling?
Wonderful, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good. I feel like this has been a lifetime in the waiting. I've been trying to get hold of you for a nice chat for what seems like forever. So, do you want to say a little bit about who you are and what you offer, just in a
Okay.
nutshell, so we can get to know the lovely Judith?
Okay, dokie. So, as you know, I have been a physio and sports therapist and all-round body worker for over 20 years, 23, 24 years. And I'm based in Tenerife at the moment, but as most people will tell from the accent, I'm originally from Liverpool and spent quite a number of years in Scotland. So depending who I speak to, my accent switches. Um, but yeah, and a lot of the time when I've been working with clients on their bodies over the years, I did a lot of mindset work with them, but I started to realize that, when people come and you can't actually find anything physically wrong with them, and then they'll
Mm-hmm.
go, I've been to the doctors, I've had all the checks done, and they said it's all in my head, but it can't all be in my head. And it's like,
Yeah.
no and yes. So when I started to realize just how many people were coming for physical things that weren't physical things, um, then it was, we need to start looking, and it's about educating people because so many people don't even realize, how their thoughts and emotions and perceptions affect what happens inside their bodies.
Sure.
Um, so there's been many years of educating people, and I know you and I have spoken about this in previous times about you can have people as a client for one thing for a long, long time, and then eventually they go, oh, you can do that too. Okay. So
Yeah.
quite often I'll have clients for a number of years, and then eventually they'll come on and do other things as well and get a bit deeper. But a lot of the work that I do now is very much based on the deep somatic, on the deep nervous system, and the things that are hidden in there that we don't even realize are hidden typically. Beliefs that we've got about ourselves, that very much color and configure our day-to-day life without us even realizing that they're doing it. And of course, if we
Yeah.
don't realize they're there, we can't stop them. It's like I'm biting my nails. Oh, I want to stop biting my nails. I can do that because that's something that I can see and I can physically stop. But if there's something going on underneath the surface and we don't know it's there, we can't stop it.
No.
So that's part of the process.
There's a lot of stuff going on about belief coding and somatic work at the moment, and this is why I wanted to get you on for a chat, because a lot of people that come to see me, they come for a specific reason, but then they leave with the actually I've left not even realizing that's what I needed to figure out or
Mm.
sort out. So they've come in for one thing and left actually sorting out something else. It's kind of
Mhm.
like peeling the onion back, so to speak,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
seeing what's right at the cause of it. Now, I first met you, I'm going to feel quite old when I say this now. I'm sure it was about 16 years ago. And I used to come to see you because I was a dancer at the time, and I was like, my knees are
Can
really
I
sore.
just say I'm very on it. Joe has very ticklish knees. I was talking about your knees last week actually. The
And I
best
still
of it.
can't have anybody touch my knees. So every time you got to my knees, I'm like, I'm going to touch your knees now, Joe. I was like, oh my God, no, don't.
Yeah, yeah,
But then obviously, as the years have progressed, and you went from, like you said, starting as the physio, but then started bringing in different coaching sessions or empowerment sessions, body movement sessions. You've got something, I think you're running shortly, is the Becoming You program.
yeah. The Becoming You program is I kind of now call all of my programs the Becoming You. So we've got the Becoming You, which is it's part of the group and it's the journey to self. But it's all about becoming you because at the end of the day, what else is there? You know?
Mm.
So part of I've got a group membership that does that, but my kind of core program is a 3 month where we work on really peeling back the layers, like you said, peeling back the layers of the onion and really getting into kind of the dark shadows. And I don't, we need light and dark to function properly, both balance the other. But there's so many times that there's nasty things lurking in the darkness of our subconscious and our nervous system that we don't realize there. And
Mm.
I was talking to somebody this morning about things like, if you smell something, you go, oh my God, that smell reminds me of, and that's not always a nice thing. Sometimes you can smell something and be like, oh my God. And if you close your eyes and really, it's a visceral sensation. You can
Yeah.
have visceral sensations. That's the soma. That's what's stuck in the nervous system. And there's things in there that you don't even realize because the nervous system is this massive supercomputer that picks up everything: sight, sounds, smells, comments that people make on the table next to you,
Mm-hmm.
comments that your auntie Nora made when you were 4. And we hold all of those things without even realizing. And what happens to us is it's not what happens. We start to make up stories about those things. So we don't, when we're younger, we don't understand or we take things out of context and we make up a story so it makes sense to us. And of course, then that makes up our world. So we can become, older, wiser, and stronger, but we've still got certain parts of us that are younger that are still running the stories on their perceptions of why that girl stole her pencil case when she was 6 and why
Mm.
that boy pulled her pigtails and why Auntie Nora told her she was really ugly with big teeth. Silly things.
It's that great big filing cabinet, isn't it? It's everything stored, filed, stored, filed, stored, filed. I always
Yeah.
say to people, let's get the shredder out. Come on, let's shred them.
And the number of people that, over the years have come and they've said, like, and they'll go, no, because my teeth are awful. And you're like, what? And we could be talking about a relationship with a close family member, and then all of a sudden we're talking about the teeth and the jaw being ugly and wrong, and you're like, okay, where did it? And they're like, why did we jump that conversation? I'm like, because evidently your subconscious wants to take us somewhere else. And it's like you said before, we'll end up talking about something, and one particular woman, it was a comment of a stranger passing her in the street when she was going to work when she was 15. This woman was now in her 70s.
Wow.
And it was a passing comment of a stranger that led to this whole construction in her head around her teeth and her smile and her jaw. And
And then that was the belief system.
and it was nothing, but it was so built up in her system, and
Wow.
it was all tied up to this relationship. But we make sense of based on our knowledge at the time. So we make sense of things when we're very little. We don't have the structure and the knowledge of the world around us to make proper sense of it, so we make things up, and it's very infantile. So when you look at infantile, when we get to as an adult, and you'll go, oh, I don't want to say that, it sounds really stupid. Yeah, because it was a 5-year-old thinking and feeling it.
Mm.
It wasn't stupid to a 5-year-old, but it's stupid to somebody who's a grown adult and thinks, God, that's daft. I'm not going to say I feel that because
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. But of course it makes sense.
So if people were coming to you for your online workshops that you do, you must see so many different transformations from start to finish.
Yeah.
And I just think that the more people, I think people are in an awakening at the moment, an awakening of self, awakening of what the world is around them, what's going on around them. And people are starting to actually think, actually, I can control these things, or there is a better way of doing things. So if someone was to sign up to one of your programs, what do you think the main transformational benefits would be?
I think really it's a case of taking away. I say to people the self beliefs that they've got of themselves that have been gifted by other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
So
does.
the self talk, that when you realize actually it's not your voice that's saying that thing, it was somebody else's voice. It was a teacher or a parent or a sister or a brother. And when I help people to really hone into that and go, but where did that come from? Where was the first time that came up? And once people kind of look at it and they go, oh, well, that really, that doesn't make sense, or I can let go of that. So that's the first thing I would say, that people tend to just start to really deeply understand the core part of what's important and what's not, and what they can let go of, even if they've had the belief for like 50 years.
Mm.
And I think as well, which became very obvious to me over the years when I was working, is logically I can understand something and believe it and know it, but I need to really let that get into my body, because if I don't let that get into my body and let my body let go of it, it's never going to go away.
And is this where the somatic part of things take
Yeah.
place? Is that what helps get really deep into the core of the situation?
Yeah. So there's a combination there when I do this with people, that sometimes I can see that they're talking and talking and talking, but I can see that it's still sitting in their body. So we'll get them
Mm.
up and we'll get the movement with it as well. I was talking to a girl, one of my colleagues this morning. She does a lot of feng shui work, and we were talking about how stagnant energy sits in the house as well, and she looks at how the energy maps through the house and different parts of the body. So we're going to do a bit of collaboration with that, I think, in the future.
Oh, that
Um,
sounds fun.
yeah, but it's, people, so I may get people to move, I may get them to do a visualization process. There's a very distinct, there's two or three things that I do to actually shift the energy and what's the word I'm looking for? It's the icky stuff that stays in the muscle. It's
The
almost like
ick.
that. Yeah, it's icky. It's a black, nasty ugh, that you think,
Yeah,
why would you want to keep that in your body? So I'm
yeah,
getting them to shift that as well. So, years ago I used to do a postural assessment, and I give people exercises to change their posture, and they change their posture. But if we didn't deal with the emotional stuff, what would happen was their soma would then close back down again, and their posture
yeah,
would be flat. And you're kind of looking at it and going, hang on a minute, we need to work the two here. And same as if I get somebody to work on an emotional thing, they're wonderful, but later on, their body's just like, no, 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 we'll pull them back down. So we need to
yeah.
work together.
It's like breaking down that defense mechanism, isn't it? Because that belief system does become your defense in a way.
Mhm.
I'm going to keep that up. So if it comes at me again, or that comment comes again, or those thoughts come again, I already know it. So
Yeah, I'm going to put this wall up, and I mean, I
yeah,
had a lady this week who she's just stopped moving because the doctor told her she shouldn't do any exercise. And I said, but exercise and movement are two different things.
yeah,
She kind of looked at me and she's like, hmm. And then when we, and I said to her, there's fear there. And then the more we talked through the session, as I was getting to know her, and there was a lot of history stuff done, and she's had so many tests and things done on her body. And there is nothing wrong with that. She's got stuff wrong with that, but there's nothing wrong with it to the extent that her body is currently displaying the problems that she's got. And as we worked through, there was at least 10 different reasons, and each of those reasons came up around fear. So when it came down to it, for 10 things, the one thing underneath all of it was fear,
yeah,
and that fear it's not a constructed emotion, but in many things it was a constructed. So it was a case of, right, I can't exercise because this, and this will happen. Did that happen? Well, no. So therefore, that's a constructed belief, because you haven't got any proof of it happening. You've just been told by a doctor that you shouldn't exercise.
mm,
Okay. So we're going to have to continue to deconstruct a lot of these beliefs that have come up all around the base of fear. And what is your fear? Where's the fear coming from? So that's going to be a really interesting one. Because
yeah.
again, you're talking about a lady who's in her 70s, has been told lots of things by lots of medical doctors, and
And
unfortunately, her
that's another
body.
fear in
Yes,
itself, isn't
of course
it?
it is.
All these
Yeah.
people spewing all this, should do this, don't do that, take these pills, eat this food, don't eat that.
And the thing
That
as well
creates
is,
fear.
Yeah, and if you're in a vulnerable moment as well, I mean, I'll never forget a guy, he's quite a young guy, and it was here in Tenerife, and he couldn't walk properly. And I was like, it just doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. And I said to him, but why? And he said, well, when I had my knee operated on 7 years ago, the doctor told me I wouldn't be able to walk back up the stairs again, so I should move house.
Oh no.
And I said, right. And he said, so I couldn't move house. He said, so I just used to get on my bum and I used to shuffle up and down the stairs. And I was like, right. And then, of course, he'd caused these massive imbalances in his body, all because the doctor had said, you're not going to be able to walk up the stairs. And I said, but did your doctor not mean like in the short term until your knee healed? And he went, oh, I didn't know. He didn't tell me that.
Oh my days.
Yeah. So you've got a person who's particularly vulnerable. He was in a stress position. He was in a country where he wasn't speaking the language, blah, 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 blah. There was a whole potential package of reasons why he didn't get the proper information from his doctor. And he interpreted it in the way he did. But as a result of it, he completely screwed up his posture and his capacity to walk because he had this, I will never go upstairs again.
Wow.
And that
And
was
that just
all.
proves, isn't it, that the belief system is just powerful stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Fill
yeah.
it with good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Pull up all the weeds, plant it with beautiful flowers and seeds.
Exactly.
That's one of my favorite things in the when we talk about boundaries, because I know that you'll talk about this as well with your
Yeah.
clients, and I do with a lot of people. We touched on this before, that if a lot of my clients, and this is why the 3 month program is really important, that as you start to change and grow and shift, and you are very aware of your non-negotiables, your boundaries in life,
Hmm.
once your family and the people close to you start to see these, sometimes they might not like it. So it's about an integration process and an education
Yeah.
process for everybody. But one of the things that we've done is don't step on my grass, because we're pulling up all the weeds, we're planting lovely flowers, we're planting the new grass. Don't step. I remember one client one day, she walked out the house, she went, "Don't step on my fucking grass." She said, that's going to be my code word now in my house. So when they start to piss me off, that's what I'm going to use. So and but that's it. Don't step on
Brilliant.
that. Yeah,
I
yeah.
love
But
it.
it's about replanting a beautiful space within you for your enjoyment and for everybody else's as well.
We need to put like a little detective's hat and monocle on you because it's like you're trying to figure out the where the ailment comes from, and
Yeah,
that in
but
itself is challenging.
but I think there's patterns, and there's always patterns. I mean, you'll know this yourself now as well with the experience that you've got. When you're dancing, for you to get to a certain position in dancing, there's a pattern that your body needs to take to get the perfect form, to get that pattern. And it's the same in everything in life as well. When I look at a client and I look and I go, right, okay, you've got pain there. Why is the pain there? There's nothing to do with that. Where's it coming from? And there's patterns. So I'll see those patterns repeat because we're all human bodies. No,
Mm,
and it's very much similar. And somebody will come in and they'll be like, right, this is going on. And I'll be like, right, okay, but what was happening when that started? And they'll be like, I don't remember. And I'll have a think about it. And then
yeah.
they'll come back and they'll be able to say, oh, yeah, because my sister had an argument with such and such, and I had to go. And there's always a pattern there. And they're quite common patterns. And this is what, when I'm working with people, they'll talk about it and I'll say, and they'll go, how did you know that? You're reading my mind. No, I'm not. I'm looking at the patterns. I'm
Yeah.
looking at patterns that you're telling me are happening and coming up over and over and over again. Like this woman the other day with the fear. This fear pattern kept coming up. So obviously it tells me that the base of that is fear. But yeah, it's fun. It is fun. But it's fun.
I do know it's fun. I want to sign up for your next one. I want to
So
come and be part of it. It sounds like I could benefit from that myself right now.
I
It
think we all could.
sounds,
But I think one of the things as well, the reason I've put the program together is because everything that I do with my clients, I've already done myself. So from
yeah,
coming from being in having a business, having children, having a big business, having to close the business, being in a stressful position, choosing to completely change my lifestyle, realizing that I'm sick and realizing, what's going on. My body was trying to tell me,
yeah.
this is the life for you. You're not happy, but I wasn't listening. I just kept going because that was what
Oh
you
my
did.
gosh, Judith, likewise. Likewise. And this leads me on perfectly to what I was going to say. Like, I met you all those years back when I first came to you for that massage, saying, I'm a dancer and my knees hurt, but I don't like my knees being touched, so I don't know what I'm going to do. To seeing you through your journey and been on the sidelines for quite a bit of it before I left Spain, you know, seeing your business, seeing what was going on surrounding you and your personal life, and to where you are now. The transformation not only in yourself and the transformation in your business is is amazing. I'm so proud of you.
You.
I really am. You just bossing it. But now you're taking all your expertise, because obviously you've done all your training, you've done lots of things throughout the years to continue your growth in what you were doing. But now you're not gatekeeping it. You're allowing others to say, "Hey, proof in the pudding, been there, done it, got the t-shirt. Let's help you. Let's sort you out."
I think a bit like you as well, in that you will come to a point in life that you realize that like my journey isn't mine. It was, I believe that everything happens for a reason. So my journey through life was given to me for a reason. For
Mm-hmm.
what? For me to keep it to myself.
Yeah,
Who does that help? Who does that serve?
exactly.
So I don't really feel like I have any choice.
It's there to share. It's there to
Absolutely.
give.
Yeah.
And that's the same with me, you know. I went through, like you, I went through a lot of stuff, pushed myself, push, keep going, work the business, do the gigs, feed the kids, go for the dog walks, do it all, keep doing it all. And then one day my body just went pop and went, oh dear, burnout, complete burnout. I can't do much of anything. Help.
And I think then, of course, there's the saying of, sometimes questioning what's going on and really sitting back and acknowledging and listening, as opposed to too many of us will be like, oh my God, I'm so why can I not do this? I should be able to do, and I should keep going. And no. And no, it doesn't get us anywhere. It just gets
No.
us in a much deeper, darker state than just sitting back and going, actually, I might just sit on the sofa and know a box of chocolates won't do me good in the long term, but right now it's what's going to make me feel better. So it's what I'm going to do.
Oh, do you know what? Absolutely. And it's funny you said that, because I've got the most gorgeous neighbours either side of me. I've got a young couple with a little baby boy this side, and then I've got an older couple with grown children, grandchildren at the other side. And we're all, you know, we all know each other pretty well by now. We're all looking out for one another. And putting the bins out last night, and I saw Holly from this side, and she was like, "Hey, Joan." I was like, "Hi, babe." And she went, "What have you done for you this week?" And I was like, I'm just about to go and do it now. The husband's away, the children are away, I've got the night to myself. She was like, "Good, make sure you relax." I was like, "And you?"
Nice. But it's like you
Yeah.
said before as well, people are starting to realize. I mean, I remember years ago, I remember, so I learned EFT when the girls were little. Shannon's 28 now. So what, you're talking 23 years, I bought the bundle pack of EFT
Yeah.
discs on CD. And I remember doing it and being like, people are going to think I'm mad. And people did think I was mad, because at that point you had hum happy birthday and turn your eyes around one way
Yes.
and tap the ends of your fingers
Yes.
and stuff. And people did genuinely think that I was nuts.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until many years later and somebody came to me and went, do you know anyone who does EFT? And I was like, what, seriously? Like, a person's just walked into my room and asked me. And I'm like, yeah. But now
Yeah.
EFT's everywhere.
It is. And
And
like I've
people get
said to
under
you
attack.
earlier, I've had an influx of EFT clients in this last month. And then they
Mm.
speak to somebody and, oh, I need to try that. And I do workshops online with it. And I used to sing Happy Birthday. Now it's Purple Rain. Just to mix it up a little bit. I get everybody humming Purple Rain. But yeah, it's a technique that I find really helpful. And again, it's something that you can teach to somebody else so they can take it out. They can then
Yes,
put it
it's
in their
giving
day to
people
day
the power back.
lives.
Yeah, it's giving
Exactly.
people the power back. And this is a very key thing in almost every single session that I do with people. There will have been at least one, probably more, instances in their life where they've lost their power, where they've had the power
Mm,
taken away from them. And that's a big thing of what I do in my sessions with people, is I take them through the visualization process and the somatic process of allowing them to get their power back, know that they've got their power back, and feel that they've got their power back, because
yeah.
that's what's going to take them forward, because I'm not going to hold the hand forever. I don't want my clients to be on my books paying me a retainer for the next 5 years. I don't want that. We're
No,
going to work on development and business and other things, fine. But just for somebody to feel better doesn't have to take that long.
no.
It really doesn't. It doesn't take one session, but it doesn't have to take that long.
And this is what I say. I say, we're going to put all the correct tools in the toolbox, and then I'm going to give it to you, and you're going to take it with you, and you can
And you're
use
going to
it.
use it.
You're
Yeah.
going to use it
Yeah.
wherever, whenever.
Yeah, I've had clients and they'll come to me and they'll go and they'll like send me a message and I'll be like, right, what? I sent you a record and they go, oh, I didn't listen to that. And I'm like, and then
Yeah,
I'd be like, right, oh yeah, I forgot about that because that tapping that I did last time with you, what was that? You've got it in your WhatsApp. Oh, I'll go and check that again. But people forget. So
yeah.
it's about that period of time of them getting new habits and getting into a new way of doing things so that it just becomes part of their process of everyday life, like making sure you take time for yourself.
Yeah.
Mm,
Everybody knows in my house they're not to disturb me from 9 till 9:30. Even the dog's got the orders. That's
yeah.
mama time. If it's a
Yeah.
nice day, I'm in the egg chair in the garden with a cup of tea, just whew, having a bit of time. Or if it's cold, I'm under the blanket with a book for half an hour. Just leave me be. I need some quiet time before the chaos descends on what this madness of life is at the minute.
Yeah, yeah, because it is. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and we just keep on thinking that our nervous system is going to cope forever, but it won't. It
No,
will give
it
out in
doesn't.
one way. So it might be, a pain in your shoulder. It might be, bad
Ta-da!
eyesight. Just funnily enough, I just happened to mention that. Your eyesight failing, a sore throat, pain in your
Yeah.
feet. I mean, I've never forget there was a conversation once with somebody and she's like, right, I've got this really sore foot and it won't go away. It was like, what can't you stand? And she just looked at and she came out and it was like,
Yeah. It's like what someone said about my shoulder. What can't your shoulder anymore? What's got too heavy?
yeah, yeah,
Like, well,
yeah, yeah.
how long have you got?
Again, and again, it's nothing bad. We've got a lot of things. I mean, a lot of the work that I've done over the years. I mean, I've been a mum for a long time, and I've been talking about this week. But we kind of society makes us feel that we should be these super happy mums, and we should
hmm
give children everything, and we should be happy and lovely all the time. And it's just not real,
No,
It's
it's
just
not.
life goes on, and our kids do our heads in, and our kids, like our kids, you can look at them sometimes and go, where the fuck did that come from?
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you and where did you come from, Mac? I'm pretty sure, So that there are situations where you might not like your child very much, and that's okay.
Yeah,
And it's okay to say, I do not like you right now, not necessarily to the child, but it's
yeah,
okay for you to voice that out loud and work with that. Where does that come from?
yeah,
Why does it really annoy me that you say that particular thing? There's usually something underneath that you need to work on. Like
of
I
course.
remember years ago being like, okay, why does that bother me when you ask me that? Okay, that this is me. Why is it bothering me? What have I got to work on? And
Like you
then when I
say,
went back and
everything's got the pattern, everything
yeah,
falls back.
100%. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's really funny when you start looking at these things and you start to realize that, I mean, my daughters laugh now and they go, "You are nothing like, I mean, I was a mum when I was 21 and 23, and then of course I became a mum again when I was 38 and 40. So the mother that they had is a completely different person to the mother the boys had, and the girls
yeah.
laugh. They laugh at it and they're like that. Oh my God, you would have killed us if we'd done that. And yep,
Yeah.
probably. you know.
But that's what everybody's hearing. I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago, and I hope to hell I'm not the same person now in the next 10 years. I hope
Yeah,
I'm constantly evolving and constantly changing, because what's the fun in staying still?
yeah,
What's the
yeah.
fun in being stuck?
It's all a learning process, isn't it?
It sure is, babes. Oh, I miss your face. I need to get on a flight and come and see you.
No, I need to go on a flight and go over there. No, maybe not right now because the
Not
weather's
right
not
now.
good.
It's not very nice. You'll have a, oh my gosh, what is this? It's not
But
nice.
somebody said the other day, and I was like, yeah, we've had really hot weather, and I'm like, this is not fun. I mean, it's not fun when you've got to do normal life.
Yeah,
Um, and she's like, yeah, but it's rained here constantly. I said, well, I'll come for 2 days and then I'll come back. But yeah, the number of people and I'm like, how can you complain about the heat? And I'm like,
oh,
come and live in it and get this
dancing
person.
in a 40-degree heat in the middle of a Kalima was
Yeah,
the worst thing going. Oh my
yeah,
days.
yeah.
No wonder I was like a size 6, because I just sweated buckets. But Such
Yeah.
is life.
Yeah.
Well, before we move on, there's one more thing I want to talk to you about. I want you to tell me about this book that you've been part of.
Mm.
Tell me about it.
So we were on a course together. We were on a mastermind together, 13 of us, I think it was in the end. And we decided, one of the girls suggested that we write a book together. So we did. And we all put a part about the Spiritpreneur, it was called, and it was all about like our journey to, become who we are, I suppose. And I think when you start to, write a book about yourself, it's really hard because you're kind of saying, but you know what, if I was going to write about which part of my life to actually concentrate on. So I chose a chunk of my life and I wrote about that. And yeah, so we published that, gosh, what would that be now? A year and a half ago. I've actually got my own in the process.
Tell me more.
It's been in the process for a while.
Yes.
But yeah, I think once you start, and we did write that in lockdown.
Can I tell you a secret?
Go on.
I started one in lockdown too. It is a work in progress.
I think but you'll probably agree then it's one of those, you're kind of sitting there and you feel like you're, where do I start? Where do I
Yeah.
finish? What do I fill in between? So I quite like, this is why I like social media in that way, using it in the point of getting in and bringing out snippets. So quite often on my blog as well, I'll just bring up like something will come up in life and I'll be like, right, okay, I'm going to write about that today. And it'll be
Yeah.
like a chunk of life. And it's funny because I look back and, I can honestly say that my life in Scotland with my daughters and then my life here with my daughters, it just feels like a completely different life. You're kind of looking back and thinking, right, that was part of this lifetime. That, it's very strange.
It is strange.
But yeah, so the Spiritpreneur, we were in the process of re-releasing it again. And we've kind of come to the point where we haven't done anything with it yet. But it's something that we wanted to do because we wanted to market it in a different way and do some different things with it for the next time we launched it. But my chapter has been translated into Spanish. So that's in the process of being final checks and proofread and
Oh,
all
nice.
of
Oh,
the
well,
rest
you'll
that we
have to
did.
let me know when it's available and send me
Okay,
the link and I'll share it with my purple people.
cool. Cool.
Yeah. So if somebody did want to kind of get any more information from you, if they think, oh, that's something that's intrigued me or something that I feel like might be useful to me, what is
Mhm.
the best way for them to get hold of you or have a quick consultation with you or
They can find me on Facebook. So Judith Mcfadden. I am not the Judith Mcfadden wearing a bikini. I shall heighten my profile photo. Um, Also, my website is becomingyouinsideout.com.
Fabulous. And when's your next one running, Jude?
I'm probably looking towards the beginning of next year now, because I've got quite a lot going on between now and the end of the year. With my group membership, my membership is open and running right now, which is it's actually €11 a month. But within that, I do weekly videos and somatic sessions, and we do some coaching in there on online coaching as well. Because I've got a lot of clients who bought the Evergreen program of the somatic system and then don't do it, even though they can break it down. So it's one of those things that this is just one place to have everything in, and there's a bit more of a community spirit going on in there.
Oh,
And
nice.
I like to do the coaching in there as well because it means that it can be quite current. So if someone's having a shit week, because you know what it's like as well, especially with the EFT, you get that borrowed benefits. So even if
Yeah,
it's something that you necessarily find you are going through in your life at that moment, there's always something you can take from it. So that all happens over there. So there's details about that on my Facebook as well.
fabulous. I absolutely love it. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much, my darling. It's been wonderful to speak to you,
there
and
you too.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, it's been a nice catch up. Thank you.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
Oh, what a fabulous chat that was. I love Judith so much. She's an amazing lady. She really is. I'm so happy that you've tuned in to listen. And if you do have any questions, you can either reach out to me or I'll put the links so you can contact Judith directly if you wish to speak to her. I'm sure she'd absolutely welcome you. So thank you so much for listening to The Purple People. I hope you tune in next week as we've got more wonderful people ready to share some stories with you. But for now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope it's happy, I hope you're chilled, and I hope you have a wonderful time. Blessings to you all. Ciao, ciao. What's the fun in being stuck?
It's all a learning process, isn't it?
It sure is, babes. Oh, I miss your face. I need to get on a flight and come and see you.
No, I need to go on a flight and go over there. No, maybe not right now because the
Not
weather's
right
not
now.
great
It's not very nice. You'll have a oh my gosh, what is this? It's not
But
nice.
somebody said the other day, and I was like, yeah, we've had really hot weather, and I'm like, this is not fun. I mean, it's not fun when you've got to do normal life.
Yeah.
Um, and she's like, yeah, but it's rained here constantly. I said, well, I'll come for 2 days and then I'll come back. But yeah, the number of people are not like, how can you complain about the heat? And I'm like,
Oh.
come and live in it and get this
Dancing
weather.
in a 40-degree heat in the middle of a Kalima was
Yeah,
the worst thing going. Oh my
yeah,
days.
yeah,
No wonder I was like a size 6 because I just sweated buckets. But such
yeah,
is life.
yeah.
Well, before we move on, there's one more thing I want to talk to you about. I want you to tell me about this book that you've been part of.
Mm.
Tell me about it.
So we were on a course together. We were on a mastermind together, 13 of us, I think it was in the end. And we decided, one of the girls suggested that we write a book together. So we did. And we all put a part about the spiritpreneur, it was called, and it was all about like our journey to, become who we are, I suppose. And I think when you start to, write a book about yourself, it's really hard because you're kind of saying, do you know what? If I was going to write about which part of my life to actually concentrate on. So
Mm.
I chose a chunk of my life and I wrote about that. And yeah, so we published that, gosh, what would that be now? A year and a half ago. I've actually got my own in the process.
Tell me more.
It's been in the process for a while.
Yes.
But yeah, I think once you start, and we did write that in lockdown.
Can I tell you a secret?
Go on.
I started one in lockdown too. It is a work in progress.
I think but you'll probably agree then it's one of those, you're kind of sitting there and you feel like you're, where do I start? Where do I
Yeah,
finish? What do I fill in between? So I quite like, this is why I like social media in that way, using it in the point of getting in and bringing out snippets. So quite often on my blog as well, I'll just bring up like something will come up in life and I'll be like, right, okay, I'm going to write about that today. And it'll be
yeah,
like a chunk of life. And it's funny because I look back and, I can honestly say that my life in Scotland with my daughters and then my life here with my daughters, it just feels like a completely different life. You're kind of looking
mm,
back and thinking, right, that was part of this lifetime. That it's very strange.
it
Um,
is strange.
but yeah, so the Spiritpreneur, we were in the process of re-releasing it again. And we've kind of come to the point where we haven't done anything with it yet. But it's something that we wanted to do because we wanted to market it in a different way and do some different things with it for the next time we launched it. But my chapter has been translated into Spanish. So that's in the process of being final checks and proofread and all
Oh,
of
nice.
the
Oh, well,
rest
you'll
that
have
needs
to
to
let
go.
me know when it's available and send me
Yeah,
the link and I'll share it with my purple people.
cool. Cool.
Yeah. So if somebody did want to kind of get any more information from you, if they think, oh, that's something that's intrigued me or something that I feel like might be useful to me, what is
Mhm.
the best way for them to get hold of you or have a quick consultation with you or
They can find me on Facebook. So Judith Mcfadden. I am not the Judith Mcfadden wearing a bikini. I shall tighten my profile photo. Um, uh, Also, my website is becomingyouinsideout.com.
Fabulous. And when's your next one running, Jude?
I'm probably looking towards the beginning of next year now. because I've got quite a lot going on between now and the end of the year. With my group membership, my membership is open and running right now, which is it's actually €11 a month, but within that, I do weekly videos and somatic sessions, and we do some coaching in there, online coaching as well, because I've got a lot of clients who bought the Evergreen program with the somatic system and then don't do it, even though they can break it down. So it's one of those things that this is just one place to have everything in, and there's a bit more of a community spirit going on in there.
Oh,
And
nice.
I like to do the coaching in there as well, because it means that it can be quite current. So if someone's having a shit week, because you know what it's like as well, especially with the EFT, you get that borrowed benefits. So even
Yeah.
if it's something that you necessarily find you are going through in your life at that moment, there's always something you can take from it. So that all happens over there. So there's details about that on my Facebook as well.
Fabulous. I absolutely love it. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much, my darling. It's been wonderful to speak to you,
there
and
you too.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, it's been a nice catch up. Thank you.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
Oh, what a fabulous chat that was. I love Judith so much. She's an amazing lady. She really is. I'm so happy that you've tuned in to listen. And if you do have any questions, you can either reach out to me, or I'll put the links so you can contact Judith directly if you wish to speak to her. I'm sure she'd absolutely welcome you. So thank you so much for listening to the Purple People. I hope you tune in next week, as we've got more wonderful people ready to share some stories with you. But for now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope it's happy, I hope you're chilled, and I hope you have a wonderful time. Blessings to you all. Ciao, ciao.